Woman gets pissed, dying child doesn't have to wait in line. What's up, my Beardos and Weirdos? Today we're taking another look at r/entitled parents, the super crazy popular subreddit that everyone seems to enjoy. And welcome to all the new people that have subscribed recently. It's awesome to see how many new people we have aboard. We have 3 stories to look at today. The first one is about an entitled mother trying to send the daughter away from her mother's party. The second story is about a woman getting angry that a dying child doesn't have to wait in line. And the last story is about a mother not taking care that her child does not crawl into changing rooms with other women in them. Alright, let's dive right on into it. EM tries to send me away from my mother's party because my lazy eye scares her daughter. So when I was small, I was included in a car accident which damaged my eyesight, and looks of my eye itself. It's not really a lazy eye, as my pupil just lazily rolls around my eye most of the time. Some nerve thing, my doctors say. My mother hosted a great party with grills and everything, and invited all of her friends from the neighborhood. Innocent, right? Well, not really. So I was eating with my friend when a little kid comes over to our table. It was a cute little girl, and she said she was lost. So I lowered myself to her level to ask about her mom so we can find her, but as I did, she ran off while crying. I shrugged it off. There was a lot of parents that are more experienced. This is where the fun begins. EM and her daughter approached me when I was taking another burger that my mom made. She took a look at me and then did an obviously disgusted sound. Then said,
"What is that?"
What is what, ma'am?"
"What's with your eye? No wonder it made my daughter cry."
"What?
Can't you at least hold it up?"
Do I look like I can?"
"Don't raise your voice, young lady. You do not belong to this party anyways."
Why?"
"You scare kids."
At this time, people hear us and my mom storms in, furious. She explained everything and sends the entitled parent away. EM swears on my mom before going off. I love my mom. OP, it's great to hear that your mom stood up for you, and it's great to hear that you were standing up for yourself as well. And I'm sure without your mom's intervention, you could have handled that situation, but it's great having backup, especially when someone else is trying to be all self-righteous and tell you whether you are or are not welcome places. Good for you, good for your mom, good party. Hope you and your friends had fun. Woman gets pissed, dying child doesn't have to wait in line. Some of you may have seen this story in the comments of a Rue Harbor video, but I'm also posting it here at the urging of a friend. This is my first ever Reddit post, so I apologize if I do anything wrong. My baby brother was the victim of a horrible medical malpractice when he was 6 months old. This left him with progressive encephalopathy, aka progressive brain death, extreme uncontrollable epilepsy, and to top it off, when he was 5, they discovered he had cystic fibrosis. Obviously, a kid that sick wasn't projected to live long. Like many small children with a terminal diagnosis, when he was 5, his doctors referred him to Make-A-Wish, a charity that grants wishes to terminally ill children. Since my brother loved the local amusement park, my parents asked to take him to Disney World. Let me just say, Make-A-Wish treats you right. We had a limo to the airport, a 2-bedroom condo in the Give Kids the World village, a resort solely for kids with Make-A-Wish, and passes to not only Disney World but also to SeaWorld and Universal Studios. Random important tidbits. When you're with Make-A-Wish, they give the Wish Kid a huge button to wear that makes it easier for staff places to spot families. My brother thought the buttons were idiotic, so my mom wore it the whole trip. One of the activities they send families to, while at Universal, is a free dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe. We arrived at the cafe to find it packed to the brim. My older brother and I were super excited about eating there, 7 and 10 years old, so my mom reluctantly waited in line at the hostess stand to see how long the wait was. When the woman in front of us put her name in, also for a family of 5, she was told that the wait was about 90 minutes. She huffed a bit and gave in to wait. Having overheard the 90-minute wait time, my mom had begun to tell us that we couldn't wait that long and that she was sorry, but we'd have to eat somewhere else. Spotting the huge button on my mom's shirt, the hostess immediately waved us over and grabbed 5 menus. Hostess:
"You're with Make-A-Wish, right?"
Mom:
"Yeah, we are. We can't wait that long." "No worries. We keep a table reserved for Make-A-Wish families. We can seat you immediately."
Mom breathes a huge sigh of relief and turns to follow hostess. It was at this point that the woman in front of us, aka the EM, overheard what was happening. "That's not fair!" Stomps foot. "Why don't they have to wait?" Hostess:
"They're with Make-A-Wish. We keep a table reserved for Make-A-Wish families, so they can get the maximum enjoyment out of their trips."
"If my kids have to wait, so do they!" More foot stomping and huffing. Hostess:
"No, they don't. I say who sits when. They sit now, you have to wait." End of story.
EM. It should be the opposite of that. They already get a free vacation and now they get to skip lines too? That's not fair. Someone needs to give my sons a free vacation. Hostess, clearly fed up with EM's bullshit.
Tell you what, when one of your kids is dying, I'll let you skip the line. Until then, be grateful you get to see your kids live to adulthood.
And with that, the hostess promptly sat us and apologized for the woman's horrid behavior. Considering it's normally my mom having to apologize for my brother's goofy behavior, she was completely stunned to have someone stand up for us like that. In fact, we were so well treated on our trip that our parents found a way to save every single spare penny and find the cheapest possible option so that we could go to Disneyland each fall for 1 week. I got to go a total of 4 times with my brother before he passed away at the age of 10, and I'm more grateful than words can say for the kindness and compassion we were repeatedly shown on our trips. The memories have, and will, last a lifetime. What happened to my brother? Long story short, he was given an injection as an infant, 6 months, that was contaminated. The FDA promptly flipped its shiz, forced a massive recall, and the medication wasn't released for a full year while they redid the formula to ensure no more risk of contamination was present. We hold no grudges about what happened, except maybe with some lazy factory workers, but no one acted maliciously, and the odds of being a victim of such an accident are literally 1 in 1 million. My family is still very much supportive of modern medicine and all that entails. I've also had questions to see pictures of him. Most of my social media is on lockdown, so I created a quick Instagram just to host these 2 images for now. I also have a couple short videos of him playing on YouTube, each about 1 minute. I'll also link those. The pictures of the family at Disneyland and the clips are actually from that summer, the year he turned 7. Oh, I can't even imagine what you and your family went through. But that is amazing that you can look back on that time and remember it so fondly, that you got to spend 4 whole vacations at Disney World with your brother. That is amazing. Especially after a trip with Make-A-Wish, he still had a few more years with you guys. Okay, I don't want to talk about that too much more. But thank you, OP, for writing that story. How dare you not let my precious booger watch you undress? This didn't directly happen to me, but I feel like you will all enjoy it anyway. Me and my stepmom were shopping at Macy's, and she wanted to try on some clothes. So I sat in the little sitting area inside the giant room that holds all the fitting room cubicles. It was a pretty large area, and probably about 12 or so little cubicles going off in 2 directions, with an area in the middle that has a mirror, some clothing racks, and some chairs in it. So that's where I was. The way I was seated, my back was to one of the hallways and directly facing the other hallway. Each room had about a 1.5 foot wide gap at the bottom, so if you knelt down, you could see people's feet. Shiz, you all know what fitting rooms look like. I don't know why I'm describing this. Anyway, my stepmom is in one room in a hallway behind me. EM, entitled Mom, and EB, entitled Brat, a male child around 2.5 to 3 years old, are in the fitting room next to hers. And the victim of EM and EB is in a room directly in my line of vision in the other hallway. Let's call her MH for my hero. I couldn't really see this part, so my stepmom filled me in later when we were comparing notes, but apparently EB was being a little shiz and EM was grumbling at him to calm the fuse down while she tried on some clothes. And he thought it would be a great idea to crawl through the gap in the cubicle and enter my stepmom's cubicle instead. I could hear my stepmom saying things like, "Miss, your child is in here?" And the mom continued to yell and grumble at the kid. My stepmom opened the door, nudged the little shiz out, and locked the door again. That's when the child slowly entered my field of vision. He toddled down the hall until he got to the very end, and then he got on his hands and knees and tried to crawl inside MH's cubicle. MH was not having it. She started shouting,
"Hello? Whoever's kid this is, come and get your kid. Hello?"
She's definitely shouting loud enough for EM to hear, but EM doesn't do anything. The kid has a shiz-eating grin on his face and proceeds to crawl inside the cubicle when I see a large foot press upon his forehead from under the door and gently push him back out.
"Hello? Whose kid is this? Come get your kid."
The kid is pissed now and tries crawling inside MH's cubicle again, and MH again gently nudges him away with her foot. The kid gets pissed and starts bawling, throwing a tantrum right there, and the fitting room attendant rushes in and looks at me. "Is this your kid?" And I look at her like, why the fuse would that be my kid? And shrug. The fitting room attendant has that "I'm not paid enough to deal with this shiz" look on her face, and asks loudly, "Whose child is this?" and starts peeping under all the cubicles and knocking on all the doors. Fed up with everyone's shiz, EM finally bursts out of the fitting room and comes right into the fitting room attendant's face, and accuses her of attacking my kid. "I just got here. I was outside returning clothes. I don't know what's going on."
Then why is my child crying?
I don't know. Then they both turn to look at me. I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm also annoyed at this entitled beast, so I get snotty and say, how should I know? I'm not your child's babysitter. All I know is your kid is crawling around harassing women who are simply trying to change their clothes. EM is building up to a massive, "Ah, hell nah," and getting ready to unleash her rage at me, when MH finally emerges from her fitting room, storms down the aisle, and gets in EM's face and shouts, "You need to control your fusing kid! This entire fusing time you're arguing with people that little shiz is crying in front of my room? You need to go pick him up off the damn floor! What the hell is the matter with you?" And then she does that storming off thing where she bangs her shoulder into EM's shoulder on purpose as she leaves, and EM was speechless. That's when my stepmom comes out of the cubicle, stops where EM and FRA are, looks from the crying toddler to EM and back, shakes her head and says, "Those floors are so dirty," in that concerned troll voice, and then the two of us skedaddled out of there. Some say that EB is still sitting on that floor crying to this day. Ah, what a good story, OP. Yeah, we... Who hasn't dealt with children like this? Oh, God, each of these stories are just getting crazier and crazier as I delve further into the Reddit page of r/entitled parents. I'm definitely not getting tired of reading through these, and I'm 100% not getting tired of making these videos for you guys. This is too much fun. OP, I think you could have taken that a step further and done some petty revenge, but I'm glad you didn't. I mean, a child that young, while they should know a little bit better, they should absolutely have a better example to go off of, and clearly this kid does not have a better example. So I appreciate you and your hero doing your best, and also your hero literally using her foot to push him out of the change room. Oh, that's awesome. Alright, my Beardos and Weirdos, that was r/entitled parents. These were some excellent stories today. I really appreciate everyone commenting in with their own stories as well. I have had the opportunity to read through some of them, and they've been good enough that I may just make a video dedicated to just the submissions that I'm receiving in the comments. So if you have a story as well, definitely feel free to comment in. I look forward to hearing from you, and I respond to every single comment unless I don't. But I do try to. Thanks again for subscribing. Feel free to share these videos if you've enjoyed them. Alright, my Beardos and Weirdos, I'll see you in the next video, where we take it one topic at a time.